At 16,000 feet above sea level, the Himalayas offer an environment so hostile that human presence is almost never seen. But tucked into this frozen terrain is a shallow body of water known as Roopkund. In and around this lake lie hundreds of human skeletons. For decades, the sheer volume of the dead confused investigators. The site held no discarded weapons, no defensive trenches, and no historical records describing a battle in this remote pass. Instead, the victims were met with a sudden, shattering impact, a force that left dozens of skulls with the exact same peculiar signature of trauma. This high-altitude graveyard presents a forensic impossibility, a mass death event where the damage appears to have come from a source that logic cannot immediately place. The modern investigation into this site began in 1942, when a British forest ranger stumbled across the scattered remains. At the height of World War II, authorities immediately suspected the bodies belonged to an invading unit of Japanese military forces. But as the summer melt receded, investigators realized the bones were far too ancient to belong to modern troops. The freezing temperatures had preserved organic material with unsettling precision. Many remains still had hair attached, alongside intact leather sandals and wooden artifacts. This sub-zero environment acted as a vault, trapping an ancient tragedy directly in the ice for modern observation. With the wartime military theory discarded, authorities were left staring at a much older, unexplained mass grave. This map highlights the geographical isolation of Roopkund. It sits entirely cut off from established ancient trade or travel routes, surrounded by impassable terrain. This extreme isolation clashes with early theories proposing that a lost army or a disease-stricken caravan wandered into the valley. Without a logical explanation, local folklore filled the void, suggesting the lake itself was cursed. Every early theory tripped over the same physical reality. There was no practical reason for a group this large to navigate into such a deadly, enclosed space. With historical records and local geography offering no answers, researchers turned their focus entirely to the bones themselves. Looking closely at this X-ray scan of an exhumed skull, medical researchers identified a highly specific pattern of damage. Dozens of victims shared identical, unvarying circular fractures. Because these impact wounds are concentrated exclusively on the tops of the skulls and the shoulder bones, lateral weapons like swords or arrows are ruled out entirely. The trauma points to a singular, devastating event, a highly localized, lethal hailstorm that struck the valley around the 9th century. The forensics indicate the hailstones raining down were as dense and heavy as cricket balls. Trapped entirely in the open mountains with zero natural cover, the travelers were relentlessly bombarded until they succumbed to the impacts. By matching the fatal cranial wounds to an extreme weather event, science appeared to have neatly solved the mystery of the mass death. That explanation held until modern geneticists extracted DNA from the preserved bone marrow of the victims. This timeline reveals a massive anomaly in the data. The skeletons belong to entirely different populations, separated by 10 centuries. A 1,000-year gap in the fatalities makes it impossible for a single 9th century hailstorm to account for the entire site. Even more perplexing, the genetic markers of the newer group show distinct Mediterranean ancestry, placing their origins thousands of miles away near Greece. This genetic reality proves Roopkund operated as a multi-generational fatal destination, drawing multiple distinct groups to their deaths across centuries. The lake acts as a recurring trap, inexplicably pulling distinct populations from across the globe into the exact same high-altitude bottleneck. Forensic analysis successfully identified the lethal weather that killed them, but it cannot explain the human motives that drove them into such an isolated hazard. The physical evidence stops at the bone, leaving the true purpose of their journeys buried beneath the ice. DNA and forensic trauma explain the mechanics of this tragedy, but the underlying motive driving humanity into Skeleton Lake remains a complete mystery.
That's it from this video. Make sure to leave a like and comment below. Remember to share this video and subscribe. Thanks for watching Behind the Script.